Want me to lower that?
No, just go by what it says.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. I am Raw Zim, and this is Rooms and Reptiles, Dungeons and Dragons. Got nothing more for you tonight, so I'll leave it to Dova.
Sorry, taking a drink. As I throw down my cup.
You tell me you're ready, and then you're not ready.
Sorry. Anyways,
So professional.
Sorry. Last time on Rooms and Reptiles. This comes from Cobalt, our resident
Hello, Commander.
Necromancer.
In response to your request, we have sent backup. Good luck, Commander.
Never
We
mind.
are forever in your
Thank
debt.
you so much, Bueasels, for that Tier 3 subscription renewal. Thank you.
So, last time,
Sorry, that was
we
a big
finally finished off that annoying Kraken. Just goes to show how awesome we all are. But I just hope everyone will stop being so mean to Infel now. I was able to pick up a bunch of new spells along with some interesting cards that I can't wait to study. I'm sure everyone else bought some too, so now let's continue. So, as we left off, you guys were in the mansion investigating those cards.
I was. I don't know what everyone else was doing.
Last session, after the Kraken attack, during the repairs, Eric's found a strong box. Yeah, the Kraken. I'm not sure why I'm saying Kraken. But yes, during the after the Kraken attack, a small barnacle encrusted strong box was found sort of lodged inside the hull. After opening it, 3 cards were found. Sort of shimmering, kind of a turquoise color. In addition, there was 1 inside the strong box from the ghost ship, which you guys looked into. And it was discovered that there's some sort of magic stockpiling energy within it.
Interesting.
Yeah. You guys weren't exactly sure maybe how to get it out, but it is in there.
I put multiple levels worth of spell slots into it.
Yes. And you did notice that there was a noted increase in just the sort of magical aura that it was putting out.
It's a magic container.
Some
I
sort,
hope
yeah.
it doesn't explode.
Mm. Don't tempt me.
You don't need temptation. You provide your own.
That's true.
Which cards did I put the magic energy into again?
I believe you put it into the Jack.
That sounds about right. And then I did make an indigo room in our mansion, but I have yet to open it because we ended before I could.
Yes.
An indigo room?
Oh yeah, and one of the cards was like, redeem this at your local indigo room, and I'm like, I have no idea what that is, so I'm just gonna write this into the mansion.
Alright.
Let the mansion sort it out.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if it works, it works. If not, well, we have a room that with blue walls now. It's a win-win.
Except it's you, Cobalt. You are blue.
Indeed.
Um,
I'm gonna open that door now.
All right. Pushing the door open, you are sort of greeted with the faint scent of some caustic alchemical liquids, some stone powder sort of floating in the air. There's some like dust, kind of similar to the smell that when you were working on the golem. There's also a faint smell of books, scrolls, ink, and the very pleasant smell of a well-lived in wooden abode. And as you sort of continue to push the door open, you can see that it leads into what looks to be a fairly well-stocked and very cluttered shop of some sort. There's trinkets on the walls. There's numerous decorations, pendants, banners from
We have
quite a lot of the
an
nations of the
ethereal
world.
influence.
Sure.
From an ear, so I figured it was relevant. Just waiting for my thing to load it up.
That would be very relevant.
Well, I hear the notification, and then I go check the thing, and then realize that the thing isn't working.
Anir, just message me anything you want me to know in particular.
Okay, I'll open it up in the browser. By the way, guys, do make sure that you retweet the announcement tweet about tonight being live. It helps out a lot. Even if you don't have a lot of followers, it does still help. And if you can... Oh, hey! Thank you for those 1,000 bits there, Bueezels!
Ooh.
That is $10 of support. Wow,
That's
thank
some
you
good
so
support.
much. Which means that I've earned another payout from Twitch. In 45 days from the end of this month.
Nice.
What was I? Oh, yes. Dashboard redemptions. Oh, he says don't forget the tea.
Don't you worry.
Of course he does. I should have refunded that because that wasn't really necessary for redemption, but oh well.
The tea?
As you sort of poke in further, you sort of look around, you don't see anybody. And as you kind of go up to the counter, because there's a few shelves and that sort of just lead up to a rather tall-looking counter for you. As you look around, you notice you're looking up at the ceiling and you see something kind of weird. It's like a small ceramic bowl. It might be anchored up there, and you're not exactly sure, but as you look more closely, as you get closer to it, you realize that it's full of liquid and steaming, the steam rising downwards.
Is the bowl upside down?
Yeah.
Interesting.
None shall see me. Though my battle cry
Yeah,
may
touch
give
it.
me away.
And another redemption.
Good lord.
Well,
I increased the
How far-
prices to, not have so many.
Huh.
But we're getting
What's
a lot
this one?
more.
How tall are you, Cobalt?
2 feet tall.
Really, Ray?
Alright.
Ray, you
Yes.
cannot influence your own game. He redeemed an influence to purposely forget the tea. I should have accepted that just
dang
to
it, Ray.
take it away.
Exactly, do it.
I will take away his points. Alright.
Oh no, I only have about 1.3 million left.
That 200 isn't going to make any dent in his.
So, as I'm guessing you'd reach up with a mage hand
To do what?
to touch the tea. It is anchored on the ceiling about 10 feet above you.
The tea?
Yeah.
I was gonna touch the steam.
Ah.
Or the whatever it is, I guess.
Alright, as you're kind of reaching up and kind of swirling your hand in the steam, and looks like kind of normal steam. Your hand just kind of passes through it, and it kind of swirls a little bit around your hand. As you're looking for this, you hear a voice very, very close to your shoulder, almost like directly next to your ear. Can I help you with anything?
That's not
I'm
an
gonna
ear,
turn
you're
around and
forgetting
see
the
who it is.
meows.
As now you just realize you feel a slight tickling from some whiskers, like right on your ear.
Okay, well, he laughs and then turns around to see who it is.
You kind of chuckle to yourself and turn around. Nobody's there.
Okay. How high up is the T again?
It's about 10 feet up, and as you look, you actually see that it's not there, but it's now on the counter, in the hands of a iridescent blue, looks like a very large cat.
Alright, well, I wouldn't be able to make a straw long enough anyway, so that's fine.
He kind of swirls around the tea, looks at you.
Is the room
I haven't
blue?
seen you in here before. No, but there's a lot of blue, like, decorations. A lot of the pendants from various nations that you've seen and heard of, but a lot of them you've never heard of, or never
like
even
it.
seen the designs of it.
I like it. It's blue.
I've never seen you in here. I've never seen you in here before. Are you new?
Yeah, kinda. I found these cards, and then...
Oh, whoa, excellent, excellent. May I see them?
Yes, and I give him the super glowy one.
I could have sworn that I kept those.
No?
They're
Well,
still
I
in
thought...
my inventory.
Then how's I able to look... No, you gave them to me to identify, remember?
Yeah, but I wouldn't have let you walk off with them.
Yeah, well, I never said. I
Sorry,
gave
but
you
after
back.
the scales,
Too late, it's
Oh.
happening.
We're too far ahead now. I already put tons of magic spell slots into them, so I'm gonna use them.
I say you would have actually been able to get away with only one of them. The one that
Okay,
you
well,
put the
the
magic
jack.
into.
I'll give him the jack.
Alright. He takes it, kind of turns around in his hand. Ooh, excellent, excellent. Do you know where this has been?
I think I found it in a box.
Interesting. No, I mean more of a what realm?
Oh, the material plane.
Oh,
Prime material
well,
plane.
Don't recognize any garb on you, Faerun?
Indeed.
Ah, I was correct. Wonderful, wonderful. And this is the only one you have, correct?
And Eric's took the rest of them.
Is he your boss, friend, compatriot?
He's another kobold I travel with.
Oh. It's been a long time since I've worked with the kobolds. Or was it yesterday? I can't remember. Nevertheless, he takes it and he kind of just twirls it around again. You can see a little bit of magic making his fur stand on end for a moment. This is good. This is good. Oh yes, I should explain. You see, my name is in here.
Looks familiar.
Really? Have we met before?
I don't know. I could have sworn my life was saved by a ethereal blue cat at one point, but I might be mistaken.
I don't remember ever. It may be an effect of one of my creations at some point. Either way, I will take the credit for it, and you are welcome. So, with these cards, bring them to me, and I will use them as like a sort of money. Like, because I don't really want any gold coins of yours. They're just tacky.
But they're so shiny.
Well, yes, but I can make much more shinier things if you bring me as many cards as you can find.
Does it matter how much magic is put into them?
Sometimes. But mostly, I just want the cards. And I will reward you. Don't you worry, I have my own set of criteria for what you get in return. And trust me, it is worth it. For example, with that jack, I could give you a little potion. How do you feel about that?
Sure.
Wonderful.
Potions are usually my deal. Consumables are less high on my list of things I want, but I mean, potions are still great. I know multiple instances where Rockart could have used a great potion.
Wonderful. This. I have just the thing for you. He basically reaches under the counter, sort of at first almost like maybe elbow deep, but eventually he gets his entire body in there as he's kind of rummaging around somewhere beneath the counter. You see his tail kind of flick up and back. And eventually he comes back up with a small phial of a swirling green liquid, very opaque liquid. And as you see here, this thing that I hold, something very, very special. This is called the potion of the evergreen maw.
Hmm. Does it let you breathe poison?
No, it's somewhat of a preventative measure against that.
Oh,
In a way,
interesting.
as he kind of removes the metal cap off of it and says, "Here, let me demonstrate." As he kind of, well, I actually don't have any issues with this, so I'll demonstrate on you. As he sort of reaches it forward, to open your mouth a little bit, just a little.
Doesn't really resist at all.
All right. As he reaches forward, and you hear a small hissing noise as he sprays a little bit off of an aerosolizer on the tip, and you taste something. It's almost like a weird spiciness, but it feels very, very fresh,
Like minty?
minty fresh.
Okay.
And I believe you will definitely need this. No offense, of course.
Okay, cool. I guess I'll take it.
Alright. As you receive a potion of the evergreen maw.
That's great.
Minty breath spray.
Hey, Dova, would you say that this Anir person is a tabaxi?
Yes, he actually is.
Ah, I see. Just wanted to be sure.
Yes, but he does basically look like a rather large blue cat with thumbs.
I see. Okay, that makes sense. That's good. He needs those. Alright, I'm gonna go see if I can get the rest of the cards from Eric's.
Alright. As you leave, he kind of takes a brief sip of the tea that's been steaming away on the counter. And he just kind of waves and puts it down. But come back soon, okay?
Okay.
With more cards. Mhm. All right. What is everybody doing? Rock, what are you doing?
I'm doing a few things. I'm currently in my room carving something as I have my unseen servant doing various tasks for me.
All right.
Raku is just in, like, I guess his workshop, fiddling around with stuff that has generally been pretty good about before, but is doing really good about, especially with like his sleight of hand and such.
Okay. And you were Okay, awesome.
I'm trying to roleplay getting reliable trait.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's fine. That was obscure.
Yeah. All right. Eric's, what are you doing?
Directing the ship.
All right. The maps are actually indicating that you're coming up to something called the Shark's Bane Wall soon. There's a large depiction of what looks to be, well, a giant wall on the map.
We'll approach shortly. Or slowly.
All right. Infel, what about you?
Well, I suppose I'd see everyone's dispersing, so I'll just return to my altar.
Very well. Anything in specific you're going to pray about?
Well, I am going to wonder if the Kraken melting was okay for the ocean life.
Okay, okay.
So I suppose I'll pray for purity.
Could you give me a charisma check?
Yes.
All right. As you are speaking towards Seiloon, a calming sea breeze seems to flow through the room, maybe indicating that everything's all right.
Good.
And awesome. Backing up a little bit because I realized for some reason I completely blanked out, and I have forgotten what you said you were doing, Riku.
I was nothing really. I was that I have reliable talent now, and so I was saying that I was like in my room, or Raku was in his room practicing sleight of hand, and he's gotten really good and such.
Okay, yeah. Sorry about that.
That's fine.
So what sort of things would you be doing? Just sort of practicing like magic tricks, or just locking and unlocking the various locks that you have?
Probably doing like something like that. Else, I guess he's just able to see stuff a lot more clear in his room, stuff that might be hidden, that just kind of the outlines jump out at him.
Okay.
I guess just twirling stuff around in his hand with great dexterity.
It would work. There's a strange sort of, you're noticing now, back in that dream when you first received your gift. You notice that a little bit of that is returning to you. There's
That's
not in the way that it was before. Whereas before it was kind of pushed on you. This feels more like it's coming from within. That it's yours. There's the distinct. It's very distinctly yours and not somebody else's.
Mm-hmm.
And Rockrock is preparing for that. Excellent. Eric's at about, and this is coming into the next day, as it's fairly early in the morning right now. And Cobalt, you're kind of looking for Eric's, and you eventually do find him up on the bridge. There's a fog, a rather light fog, but in the distance it does obscure your sight. And from the horizon, a large gray object looms. Looks to be the wall stretching from the jagged coastline of the north edge of the sea to the southern edge. Almost a cliff on the southern edge. As I drop a deck of cards. That is a mess.
As a Magic player, I can totally relate.
Good lord, there's so many.
It is all on the floor now.
Yep, it's all on the floor.
What you don't know is that Dova folded up 5 decks of many things together and dropped them all.
Exactly. I would like
As
to
he did
pull
so, he
50
accidentally
cards
said,
from the deck.
As he did so, he accidentally said, "I draw 50." Oh no.
52. It's the 2 that count.
Oh, true.
Yes, but somehow everyone was the comet.
Hell yeah. Okay. Let's actually continue. In the distance, that wall that you see, there's actually a split in the middle. A large, sort of V-shaped opening in the wall. And as you start to approach, the scale of this thing just becomes apparent. As the fog around the base starts to dissipate in the and the increasing heat from the sun as it rises almost perfectly within that gap in the wall. Sort of brightness shining through the gap as a very slight wind begins to pick up, easing your travels and just sort of buffeting you with the scent of sea salt and the very slightly rotting wood from the ship. Cobalt, you would manage to find Eric's just as you're preparing to shoot the gap. The gap, of course, is nearly 1,000 to 2,000 feet wide, so it shouldn't be an issue.
That's good. I'm gonna say, Eric's gonna have the rest of those cards. I need to give him this cat in the wall.
Cat in the what now?
Okay, so it's more of a cat in a shop in the wall. But come on, let's go. And I grab his wrist and start pulling him.
I
Keep in
kind
mind, I
of
have
need
6
to
strength.
be here.
Oh, well then can I just have the cards then?
No, if we're...
The cat gives us magic items. Look, and then I'm gonna try to pull his mouth open and spray the breath spray in his mouth.
You notice as he gets close to do this, his breath does smell really good. There's a distinct minty freshness to it.
Okay, if
Okay,
you
he is a
are
lot of
seeing things, that's not a good thing, Cobalt.
Then how do you expect if I got? How do you know where? Wait. How am I trying to word this? If that's how you feel, then how do you think I got this?
I have no idea what that is or how you got it, but
It's a magic item, I think. And the cat gave it to me while trading the cards. The card that I kept.
you kept one of the cards?
Yes, and I gave it to the cat, and he gave me this. It was written on the instructions in the card.
I see. We'll investigate it later.
Oh.
Right now, let me just make sure we get through this wall, okay? And then we can go investigate it, okay?
Hold on, wait. Hey, Dova.
Yeah?
Has it been... have we gotten a long rest since I expended those spell slots to put them in the cards? The card?
No, that would have been done early this morning.
I forget what spell slots I use, because it seems like I haven't used any.
Is a level 5, I believe you pumped into it.
Okay. In that case, because Cobalt is really interested in this right now and wants to get this over with, I'm gonna conjure an air elemental to make the boat go faster.
All right.
And instruct the elemental to help us get through this gap quickly.
All right. As you watch, Eric's, there's a whirling cyclone of wind as an air elemental forms a good 2 meters away from you. As the wind starts to increase, literally. Would this violate the laws of motion?
No, because the air elemental floats. It's not on the boat itself.
Yeah, it wouldn't violate it. So that would work, actually. As the speed of the ship increases by from maybe 3.5 knots to maybe 5 knots, which is about 6-ish miles an hour.
I'm gonna shake my head and Cobalt, just dispel it on my command if we need to.
Okay. And after we get to this gap, you can give me the cards, right?
We will go investigate this.
Cobalt's gonna sit impatiently.
This cat in the wall.
Could I get a perception check from you, Cobalt and Eric's?
Wow,
Right.
I did really well. I
Yeah,
never do well.
all of you would see this. So, including the guy on the crow's nest. As you approach, you're maybe a good mile away. You guys are kind of looking through the horizon with the spyglass that's sort of chained to the front railing, and you notice that there's a ship, looks like a trading ship of some sort, is passing through from the other side. And as they do so, you see something go off the edge of the ship and fall into the sea just before they cross the threshold of the wall. You're unsure of what that actually was, but something rather, maybe roughly man-size, was thrown off the vessel just before crossing the threshold.
Do I know anything about this wall?
You would actually know, but go ahead and roll history so I can see exactly how much you know. So,
Can I help him? Because I'm not proficient in history. Never mind.
the Shark's Bane Wall was built a long time ago. About, 10,000 years ago. It was built when the sea was much larger and much higher up. And it was built to protect the surrounding area from a large population of sea monsters of some sort. You don't exactly remember what kind or what they were called. But eventually it hasn't been needed, but there also hasn't been much initiative to tear it down because it's so much of a project. And so it's just kind of remained here. Every so often a few stones from it fall off, but it's very stable, very strong.
Alright. Do I know if that we're supposed to give, like, tribute or something?
You know your sailing skill? Use... So go ahead and roll, we'll say, intelligence with your proficiency. With your proficiency bonus. So then just history again, if you have proficiency in history.
I don't.
Okay, well, roll it with proficiency then.
Do I get a bonus for my other knowledge?
Yes, that is the proficiency.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no!
You've certainly heard of people giving tribute to a lot of things while at sea. You're not sure exactly what you should give for this, but it seems important. Superstition, or it might be real.
I'm gonna seek out the sailors that we've hired and see if they know anything about this wall.
Okay. As you go below decks and kind of look around for the sailors, you eventually find 3 of them actually making what looks to be a scrap out of scrap wood, like some broken barrels and some nails. what looks to be like a stick figure, or maybe a skeleton out of wood. And as you're approaching, they're starting to fill a sort of ragged pair of pants with straw. And as the guy actually filling the pants with straw says, "Oh, this is we've never gone past the gate."
I was hoping he was gonna say it's not what it looks like.
Okay, repeat that, Dova.
Have you been past the gate before?
I have
Been
not.
through it at least. Oh,
I was wondering if you know anything about this.
well, this guy, as he sort of pats the skeleton, his name's supposed to be Tep. Old tradition, goes back a long ways. Old story is that as he sort of kind of thinks very clear, very hard, and looks at the other guy. What was the story behind this again? And as they kind of like pass that off to each other, and nobody actually knows the story behind it. But what they're doing is that they're making an effigy out of some straw, some clothes that aren't really up to snuff anymore, decorating it with what he ought to be decorated with, which nobody can really come to a legitimate answer of what that is. And then you toss him overboard just before you cross over.
Well, okay then. Thank you very much for the good work.
Aye, sir. Do you want to help with this? I figure you're the captain. You should at least put something on it.
Sure. So I need to find something to actually put on it?
Whatever you want, yeah. In
What is
Cobalt,
this
you would
about
actually
me on
be
a
here for this as well.
rampage? I haven't
what?
said any in the stream, in the Steam, the chat on Twitch.
I don't know what's going on.
And yeah, I
either way,
didn't say anything about trying to kill you, and I don't know.
Cobalt, you are there, and you would have overheard this conversation as you're kind of following him around for the cards by now.
Can I make a non-living, non-moving... Like, can I use my Golemancy to help build this effigy?
Sure. The effigy itself isn't really meant to be that complicated, but you could sure put a lot of effort into it. As you add some joints, the joints move now. It's sort of an eye and hook system with brass fasteners. And it kind of has a lot better proportions to look like a human.
Cobalt's gonna puff his chest out proudly.
As you, with all your might, having done your modifications, sort of push it back upright, leaning it against the wall. Eric's. Decorations?
I will add a silver necklace.
Alright. If that's from your inventory, then go ahead and mark that off. As you put a as you put the silver necklace around it, the sailor kind of looks at it and kind of raises his eyebrow, impressed.
I shrug.
I guess. Well, I guess doing that might be better. Sure,
I don't
wouldn't want to
have a whole
anger
lot else to add
whoever's.
to it.
Yeah. He kind of shrugs again and continues to sort of add his own decorations to it as the the other crew members, and eventually the kobolds are actually sort of pulled into it as well, sort of adding their own decorations, stowing some embroidery into the shirt, adding a crown of what looks to be wicker and bits of colored rocks, just agates, small bits of quartz, stuff like that. As the vessel continues onward, the ship eventually reaches the gate, and you realize now, what you couldn't see before, but that the gate itself is actually, the wall itself is actually like 20 to 30 meters thick. Like, it is a stout son of a gun. And the edges of it are kind of caved in, and you can see below in the very extremely clear bluish water the giant rocks below the surface. Small bits of seaweed sort of float upwards, hanging in just sort of floating in midair in the water. I couldn't get a proper word for floating in mid-water. I don't know if there's a proper word for that. Oh well.
Suspended in the water?
Suspended in the water. That's a lot better.
Bobbing.
Not really. You're just kind of standing still. And as you reach the threshold, the crew, as well as some of the kobolds, heave the effigy over into the lake. And almost as soon as it splashes down, it takes on a lot of water and sinks down. And you can actually see through the clear water as it slowly drops down onto the bed of very large boulders. The ship continues through without incident, other than a strange sort of whistling noise emanating as the wind continues to pick up somewhere from maybe in a small gap inside the wall. It's a very eerie sort of almost like a mourning tone. And as you slowly drift out of earshot, the tone fades away. Nothing rather interesting seems to happen during the day, but during the evening, when you guys are all heading in for dinner, Rock has set out something very interesting for you all. Rock, if you'd like to take it away.
Yes, I would. There's each place. There's exactly the number for all of us. With dishes, each dish is lined with almost, it's like a bluish gold tinge.
Rock, you're a little far away.
Better?
Yes.
Much better.
My headset fell down for some reason. It's like the when you get a fancy plate, it's got like that silver dish on top of it. But it's like the bluish yellowish.
Did your headset fall again?
Hold on.
By the way, Cobalt, while he's fixing
It's
that,
slowly dipping downwards.
I
thank
can't
you
reach
so
my
much
keyboard.
For that $3 for that donation there.
Of course, your little goal at the bottom seems so easy. I might as well fill it.
It's just a daily goal.
Better.
Helps out
Oh,
overall.
cool. Do you see the note I sent with it?
I can. Give me one moment. Maybe. There it is. Turlix ate me because I'm minty now, and after I just got out of a kraken belly. Yeah.
Hey, you live with
I'm
that
sorry,
Kraken
what?
belly store. So can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Okay, so Rock beckons everybody to sit down in front of the plates in front of him.
I want to do a perception check to see if I can hear him.
Go ahead.
Even though it's
Actually,
absurd.
what's your passive perception? Because I know that's really good.
22.
Yeah, you'd be able to hear what's going on. You'd
Oh.
actually had been able to smell a very strange sort of, a really zesty smell in the air that you haven't really smelled before.
All right, I guess I will follow after it.
And Infel, you would also smell something very delicious, very, very zesty. Maybe some sort of spiciness to it as well.
Intriguing.
And you have been fasting during the day, of course, during your prayers, so it's really getting to you now.
I feel like I might know what this whole situation is.
Infel?
Yes.
I'm guessing you'd go check it out and see what's going on.
Of course.
All right. All right, and I believe everyone at about this time would have been in the mansion. So, Rock, you can continue.
All right. I assume everybody sits down in front of the plates.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you'd probably be gesturing at us to sit down, so I would.
Cobalt?
Yes, I'm standing on the seat.
All right.
And Raku, there
These
is an
chairs
extra
are
seat for your
kobold
gun.
size.
Why do
Oh,
you think it's going
okay.
to stop me?
I will get Sheila from my quiver, and I will put her on one of the seats.
Would there be a seat for Sheila, Rock?
Yes, because Rock remembers.
All right. As Sheila sits down, you hear a very... you hear her protest very quietly.
Her what?
You hear her protest very quietly. She says, I don't know why you're having me out here. I don't need to eat this gunk anyways.
I'm assuming this is some kind of ritual, and so...
There's no plate in front of her, it's just an extra seat next to his.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Since Rock saw Raku treating her like a being.
Mhm.
And he much approves of that. So he's Rock's at the head of the table and he's gonna do a toast.
What's in the cup, Rock?
In the cup, everyone has the same cup. It's almost like a bourbon type liqueur, with a hunk of ginger in it.
Alright.
You're breathing
And
into
he-
your mic.
That's not me.
I said, Ray,
Oh,
What?
you're breathing into your mic.
Am I still?
I don't believe so.
Okay, because
So-
it might... I don't... Yeah.
so Rock's toast, and he's gonna. Hold on, let me grab my notes. He's gonna go to the victorious battle we fought. We have fought many, but that was the best one.
Hey, Rock, I think your headset fell again.
Next Tuesday, I am buying a new damn headset.
Actually, guys, right now there is a Prime Day deal on the Blue Yeti basic microphone. Maybe
Hashtag
look
not
into getting it.
sponsored.
No, it's not
It's-
sponsored. It's just, you know, I use the pro version, but I've heard good things about the basic one, so
Send me a link later. No, I'll look into it.
all right.
He's gonna go. He's gonna raise his glass. And gesture for you guys to pull off the lid to the dish in front of you.
I'll do it then.
I'll follow suit.
In front of you, there's a dish of cold noodles with raw meat in it, and off to the left, everybody at the table has a.
Your headset fell again.
Everyone has a necklace with a piece of tooth on it that he carved from the Kraken tooth he has.
Your headset fell again, and I'm having a really hard time understanding you.
I can hear him.
Damn me and my tiny head. Better?
Yes.
Yes.
It's better for a moment, but then it just slips right down.
Probably just hold it for this.
Damn duct tape.
That works
That too.
too.
Alright, so off to the right, there's a sliver of the Kraken tooth he had that he weaved into a necklace.
And there it
for
goes
everybody.
again.
Just hold it up, man.
I am.
God, that's weird.
That
Also,
is
that
really
is-
weird.
It's really annoying.
Yeah, it's really weird because it just sounds like you're talking, and then it's just like it kind of gets very far away, and I don't.
Very, very good effect there. I liked it.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Shit.
Okay. So what
For the
was the last
moment.
part you heard?
The small necklace carved out of the Kraken's tooth.
Okay, yes, he has that, and he raises his glass. And he's gonna go to the traveling scales. May we have more victorious battles.
Is that what we're called? Okay.
You faded again.
Alright. Better? I'm gonna hit my computer.
Again, for the moment. You do something to
So
fix it, and then it.
So your headset, the microphone, it's just like, it's mounted on the side, right?
Yeah, on the side of the headset.
Just hold the dang thing.
That's actually what I'm doing right now.
Oh, good.
Well,
and you're doing
keep
pretty good
doing
right now.
that.
It's so weird. Oh, okay. Anyway, so did you hear that last part?
I did, yes.
Yes.
Okay. So then he's gonna start digging in.
Eric
Everybody
will
else?
take a sip of his drink and start digging in as well.
Cobalt, Riku, Infel.
Yes. Yes.
I wonder if I can eat this. I am.
My answer
supposed
is
to be
yes.
Fasting, but it would be rude not to.
Indeed.
I mean,
Yes.
Cobalt tends to prepare to like his food a little more done. Can I use prestidigitation to cook things or just make them warmer?
Just warm them up. You can't actually fully cook things.
You can make it taste like it's cooked.
And then the texture is the main issue.
Well, it would just be like boiled meat.
Very tender.
I'm sure we've had that plenty of times.
Can I? Ooh. Can I hold it near a flaming sphere? Just the meat with Mage Hand?
The flaming sphere, and the meat itself is fairly finely diced,
Oh.
and the flaming sphere That's the small rock that you have that heats water, right?
No.
No,
I'm talking
that
about
is
the
a
spell.
spell that creates a 5-foot diameter ball of fire.
That's a bit. That's a bit big.
A bit
The meat
overkill.
is actually the
Make a
meat's
tiny
very
one?
thinly sliced, almost like sashimi. It's just
Sashimi?
raw meat. Yeah.
Stop being rude, Cobalt. Just eat.
Okay.
Can everyone please give me a Constitution saving throw?
See,
course.
there you go. I told you guys.
Does Eric's have to, considering he loves eating bugs and stuff?
Yes.
Fine.
Constitution save throw.
Can I have advantage?
I kind of expected that one from Infel.
Yay.
So, Infel and Cobalt, surprisingly, you're the only ones to pass right now.
Oof.
As Cobalt, you're noticing you're taking fairly small bites, and it's kind of spicy. You know, you're not gonna lie. I mean, you took maybe a small piece, maybe like the size of a small meatball. Just kind of twirled it up and ate it, and you're just kind of chewing on it, and you feel, wow, that's really hot. And it's becoming almost unbearably hot, and just almost always getting worse. But you manage to somewhat kind of, keep your composure.
Oh,
Infel.
Like spicy things.
I
Dang
It's
it.
kind of zesty, you know. It's a kind of pleasant, very pleasant heat.
Lizards
know?
like heat.
Exactly. It's very similar to your home cuisine. Lots and lots of spices. Raku, Eric's, and Rock, however, your faces are flushed, especially Raku, as it's completely taken you off guard. You took one bite and you thought, wow, this is really good. You took like 3 or 4 more before realizing, oh, this is a slow heat. As you are now stuck in a cycle of the heat just continuously increasing, as it feels like your tongue is burning off.
Then
Rock
my
Rock's
immediate
super
response
enjoying
would
it.
be to have some of the bourbon and the ginger.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. You want me to roll sleight of hand to grab my cup without spilling it?
No. I'd say you managed to do it. As you splash a little bit around your lips and your teeth, but you managed to drink it all down, and oh god, that's made it worse.
What?
You-
The bourbon and ginger made the burning worse somehow.
Yes.
It's
That-
also spicy.
It's not burning in the way it was before. Now it's completely clearing out every single sinus that you thought you had before, including a few more pores on other parts of your body. You are feeling very alive, but very much in pain right now. And pretty much the same exact thing goes for you as well, Erickson Rock.
Rock's enjoying it, but he's making a comment that his sister can make it better. It's not when he was growing up on it. And he's enjoying the heat. That's the point of it.
Oh God!
It's
got
a,
me more.
it's
I
a
could
fit.
use seconds.
Rock's face first on this, and he's already on his 6th drink. He's enjoying the heat.
Okay. Cobalt will take a sip of the drink, not knowing what it was, and then he doesn't like alcohol, so he sets it down and orders some milk.
Have you instructed the cooks to not serve milk, Rock?
It's part of his family tradition to only have the whiskey or the bourbon or water.
All right. The cooks seem to accept your order, but they don't seem to ever come back with anything.
I'll conjure some milk. A cup of milk, and then
Holographic meatloaf.
holographic
favorite.
meatloaf again. My favorite. Nah, it wouldn't be the same. It would
It's just not the same.
Yeah.
You can taste it, but the heat doesn't seem to be going away. Could I get another Constitution saving throw from you all?
Yes.
If we passed it before, do we get advantage?
Uh,
Advantage
Rock,
because I grew up eating this stuff.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Roll again, Kobold. Or
What was his answer on advantage?
yes.
Yes for Rock since he grew up eating it.
Oh, I thought you said
Starting the
if
session
we passed
strong.
the first
Alright,
time.
I'm gonna use lucky for that one. There we go.
The milk seems to have helped a little bit. As
Totally fine.
Raku and Eric's, you are basically hit by a train.
Raku was hit by another train.
Yes.
The second train. is the
Rock,
first
you are
Another
You're starting to
train.
suffer. You're starting
been
to
a-
really suffer.
It's been a while since he's had it. But he's only like his 5th plate.
Raku and Eric's, you didn't know you could sweat, but apparently you can.
I want to do a deception check.
Go ahead.
I'm perfectly fine.
With disadvantage, go ahead.
I mean, I guess it doesn't matter at this point. Let's see.
What do I roll to see through his bullshit?
So that would be 21.
I don't know why you think disadvantage would do anything. Why
So
would that?
as you're basically shedding right now, as the outermost layer of your skin is basically drying out as you speak, you sort of pull at your collar, very clearly breathing heavily. You kind of look over at Cobalt enjoying his glass of milk. As he sets it down, you kind of mimic a stretch and just kind of reach for it. And as
That disappears.
as you reach for it and as you try to grab around it, your fingers just kind of pass right through, and you pass it off as kind of reaching
That's-
over to itch your shoulder.
Oh, okay.
As your eyes are kind of darting wildly around the room. I mean,
Well,
you don't
the-
look as bad as you
Yeah.
feel.
I don't need it. I don't need it. I
Eric's,
don't
you
need
kind
it.
of look over at him and see that he seems to be handling a lot better than you are.
Keyword being seems to be.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, that's a big keyword for Raku.
It's like being imprinted in the lower intestine.
All right. As you continue suffering through your meal, Infel, this is a rather enjoyable dish. It's a lot of zest to it, you know? A lot more than you're used to eating with these guys, because it seems like they have a lot different taste buds.
Oh, I didn't know you knew my regional diet. I didn't know you knew our regional cuisine. I didn't know you knew it. How nice.
Sister's recipe.
Your sister was a great woman.
She is a great woman. And he's face first back in more noodles.
You're right.
Rock used to be white.
Okay.
He just got burnt from all the chili.
Yes. It's just soaked into his scales.
He is chilly.
Exactly. So are you guys still eating?
If he was capable
Rock,
of
Rock,
blood
good.
fire.
I'm not stopping.
All right. Cobalt?
I mean, I would.
I'll finish my bowl, but I'll probably be
Oh.
full after that.
maybe the same for you guys, Raku and Eric's. Just kind of try to power your way through the dish for politeness' sake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. One more Constitution check. Constitution saving throw from you all.
I don't think I plan on doing anything else today, so I'm gonna use another luck. I'll go with that one.
I don't need lucky points. This is
Great
great.
fun! Right, Boo?
Eric's, the onslaught does not lessen up, but for the rest of you, actually Raku and Eric's, it still hurts a lot.
The brothers suffer together.
But for the rest of you, it's the heat is eventually sort of plateauing off and almost bringing up your own body heat. It's a very nice sort of warming sensation throughout the whole body. The pain is still primarily located in the mouth, but the warmth from it seems to be spreading throughout your whole body, leaving you kind of almost glowing in a very nice sort of warmth. I don't know where I was going with that.
Anir redeemed another ethereal influence. I sent you the details in PM.
All right, I did see that. Eric's and Raku. You feel a strange sensation, besides the pain, of course, as a small amount of steam actually starts to drift out of your nostrils for a moment. After about 10 seconds of such, it simply dissipates, stopping coming out from your nose.
As I see it coming out of my nose, I want to force it through my mouth and try to blow rings.
All right. Give me a dexterity check. All right, you managed to blow some very impressive smoke rings. If it was made of real smoke, it probably would have lasted longer, as the smoke, the vapor rings just seem to dissipate about maybe 1.5 feet from your face.
1.5 feet, that's still pretty good.
All right. So, Rock, how does the tradition end?
The tradition. Well, after the feast, generally the tradition ends one of two ways, depending on
Microphone.
The mic fell.
The tradition ends one of two ways, depending on how well they survive the main course.
Survive the main course.
The last part of the tradition, he does another. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, he does a small toast. Going for we are now.
You are not a trash can.
Rock, your
Okay,
microphone is steadily just losing quality. I don't know how it's happening or what's going on over there, but
I can just it's slowly getting further and further away until it sounds like he is literally standing on the other side of the room from it.
I am literally
Complete
making out
with
with my mic
echo
right
and
now.
everything.
It's like a bad GTA 5 glitch where the character just kind of starts sliding away as he's speaking to you.
Like, I can't get closer to this mic. I've already French kissed it twice.
Bad GTA 5 glitch? You mean the entire game?
Yeah.
this is actually you right now, Rock. The
I-
video I posted it.
Is it? Okay, I'll have to look at it.
I have to look at it too.
the tradition ends, a lot of times, mostly those who can't handle it just pass out from the pain.
And you are gone again.
So the microphone is like on like a little boom attached to your headset, right?
Yeah, it's attached to my the headphone part.
And it's like an actual like over-ear headset sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it just kind of keeps dipping down.
I mean, I literally have a tight hat plastered to my head for it to not move.
I hear you.
It
Wait,
keeps
you have
moving,
a-
my man.
You have a hat plastered to your head?
Okay, so hold on. I'll text something to you, though. I'm gonna reset my mic.
Okay, that might have something to do with it.
Guys, I did link to the microphone. It comes in multiple different colors. So
I saw that.
it's 40% off.
Here's the one that I use, and it's amazing if you want an actual headset. It's about the same price, and it's wireless.
Yeah, but I can still tell you're using a headset.
Okay.
As
I mean, unless they're also streaming, I don't know if that matters.
I'm just saying.
as the sort of fire starts to wind down, another round of that these sort of wooden mugs full of this brownish bourbon starts to be passed around. And actually, regarding the bourbon, could I get a Constitution saving throw?
From who?
Everyone except Cobalt, because I know you didn't drink it.
I feel like me and Rock should have advantage because we drink all the time.
It's true, but that's more for the perks like dwarven resilience and stuff like that.
Oh. What the oh my gosh.
I will get one for Rock while he is gone. Oh, he's got a big bonus for this. And it's kind of okay. So, the meal starts to wind down and the heat starts to radiate away as Eric's and Infel, you're starting to feel the effect of that bourbon, that warmth never really going away as you're sitting in your chairs, you feel like it's moving, almost like the ship outside. That sort of sensation carrying over into here. Raku, that was some. You must have had something completely different in your cup, because you're almost swaying in your seat. A very profound warmth sort of radiating throughout you. Head slightly buzzing from the effects of the drink. And kind of thinking back on it, you might have had like 2 glasses of it, rather tall glasses. That might have done it.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Alright. What did I miss?
Nothing much. Rock, you are feeling slightly buzzed.
That's okay. That works.
Excellent.
It's a family drink.
I'm back.
The
Excellent.
lizard's finally starting to get warm.
All right. Rock, you want to give the final toast?
Yes. He's going to raise his glass.
Microphone.
You know, I think my microphone is just dying.
Is it's wireless or?
No, it's wired. It's just like 6 years old.
Oh, and it's just continually sagging.
Yeah, I think part of the wires in the mic right now are probably going out.
That might do it.
Because I unplugged it and reset it and adjusted it, and it's just, if it's not working, it's just not working.
And it's working pretty good so far. It only seems to start feeling as though you're far away when you say a lot of stuff continuously. It just sort of slowly degrades. But you're doing pretty good right now.
Okay, so he's gonna raise up a glass and he's gonna say, "We are a family bonded by noodle fire."
There you go.
You cut out just at the end there.
Oh, son
You
of a
started to
bitch!
drift away. I'm sorry.
The thing is that even when that does happen, we hear an echo as well, which just makes it more odd.
It's the weirdest thing.
I don't know how to fix this. I'm not techno literate. I can only do so much.
I mean, 6 years. I mean, that might be time.
Yeah.
As much as I love this headset, and it'll probably wear out before then.
I'm surprised. Anyway, alright, so okay. I don't know what the last part you heard was then.
As Rock raises up his glass.
We are family bound by
Toast. And yes, he says, "We are family bound by noodle fire." As you all sort of raise your glasses, some of you a bit more unsteadily than the rest. And as is called by tradition, completely empty the last glass and eat a rather large-sized chunk of ginger. I will need one final Constitution saving throws from you all.
You said you need saving throws from what?
From you all.
Okay.
Finally, I shake it all off.
For what? The
Drinking the final glass with the ginger still inside it.
Is this alcohol?
The same liquid, the bourbon type liquid.
I guess I'll try it.
Alright.
Because I want to be nice. But he probably won't like it unless it was really sweet.
It's not very sweet. As you kind of take a big sip and realize it's really not your style. You gonna eat the ginger though?
Sure, I've had ginger like in real life before. It's not that bad.
As you as you chomp down on the rather large piece of ginger, your nostrils just kind of flame up and basically clear everything out of them all at once with a brief bit of what looks to be steam. And a similar thing happens for the rest of you. Except for Rock, which I'll get to in a moment. But for Infel and Eric's, you guys barely hold it down as the ginger and the liquor, for whatever reason, create this weird sort of reaction within your gullet and just releases a good amount of pressure all at once. With a very large sort of wheezing noise. almost all of the air from your lungs is just pulled out at once. For Raku, you managed to get a sizable cloud of steam just like before. And just like before, you also kind of blow it into a ring. And this time it lasts a good while longer. As it's sort of floating up in the air, it's instantly incinerated by a small burst of like a bluish flame that just kind of jets out from Rock's nostrils. After a good bit of practice, he's managed to be able to do this with it. As the scent of burning alcohol evaporates into the air, you guys are feeling spent, tired, but also very, very content with yourselves, and very warm as well.
It was a very eventful experience.
Yeah. Also, Eric's and Raku, you are both drunk. Infel, you've got a good bit more mass to you, so it's not affecting you that badly. However, you are definitely buzzed, as well as you, Rock. You've done this so many times that you've almost built up a resistance to it. However, you are getting there. You're kind of tipsy.
Yeah, he grew up drinking this.
Pretty much.
But he is also small and compact, so there's only so much.
Yeah. So, what are you guys doing now?
I'm gonna stumble back to my quarters.
You're gonna what?
Pull out a loaf of bread and start eating it.
Sorry, Rock. I missed. Or sorry, Eric. I missed exactly what you were doing.
I'm gonna stumble back to my quarters on the ship.
All right. As
Thank
you
for the meal, Rock.
He's smiling. He gives you a tails thumbs up.
As you kind of get up from the table and start to make your way outside, you're confused. The front door seems locked.
Mm-hmm.
As you kind of like push on it and just continue pushing harder and harder on it until one of the other kobolds comes in from outside, the door swinging inward. As you realize you've been pushing on a pull door. You kind of watch the kobold go and kind of stumble your way through the door as it closes behind him.
Happens to the best of us.
Raku, could you give me a dexterity saving throw with a disadvantage?
For what?
Eating.
Huh?
Eating.
For eating?
Yes. This is a long and unwieldy piece of food. As you retrieve the baguette, you kind of slovenly bite into it and rip off a very large piece and just sort of slowly start to chew down on it. And as you do so, you kind of relax and almost start to fall asleep, and you're woken up by the fact that you nearly dropped the baguette onto the ground. Your grip just kind of releasing slowly off of it.
I posted something in Rooms of Reptiles.
Yeah. I mean, you need to... Oh, yeah. What if it's
Just gotta
both?
push on the door.
You just gotta push on the door.
I see. I understand.
Hey,
I love how
Nova.
it actually took
Yeah?
Nova a few seconds to get it.
And during this whole thing and the preparation up to, Rock would have let Sora know what was going on.
Okay.
So she could enjoy it.
At some point in it, you feel that she kind of takes a very close interest, maybe even poking her feet in the water, so to speak, before sort of backing away. You can feel a weird sort of heat in the back of your mind as you, under her breath, you can feel her kind of cursing.
Yeah, Rock has that effect on things.
All right, as you guys are going to now sleep off the night. Nothing too interesting happens during the night. As you guys, some of you, awake with a pounding hangover. The constant motion of the ship, the bright sun, and just this very strong wind and salty smell to the air does not help. So, yeah. What are you guys going to be doing today? I know at some point you wanted to get the cards from Eric's Cobalt, and I believe I accidentally skipped over that beforehand.
Eric's is gonna stumble back to the mansion and get some coffee.
Alright. You get the servants to bring you a very strong cup of coffee. As you start drinking and eventually start to wake up, the hangover is still there, but slowly starting to dissipate. Cobalt?
I excitedly ask him if we can go do go see the cat now.
Eric's?
Yeah, we can go see this cat in the wall.
Alright, I teleport him to there. The both of us, I mean.
Alright, as Eric's, you barely managed to keep the cup of coffee from spilling as you're suddenly just whisked up to the second story of the mansion. The door in front of you.
I'm gonna stumble a bit and vomit, probably.
Constitution saving throw?
I will aim it on Cobalt.
As the...
You don't want to do that.
As
well,
the sudden
technically,
motion...
I'm probably facing you or something anyways, but anyways.
Yeah, you would be. Oh, this is bad. Okay, so the sudden motion of the teleportation just sort of trips something deep within you as you kind of set the cup of coffee down on the ground a few feet to the side and just kind of stand there with your hands on your knees, just kind of shaking your head for a moment. Cobalt kind of like looks at you and says, and starts to say, "Is everything as it all comes out?" Directly onto Cobalt. As you let out a cough and kind of spit out a little of the vomit, you sort of look up at Cobalt,
and then
who is kind of standing still at the moment.
And after a moment,
yes, there's a small sort of quivering sensation of the vomit on his face as the collar activates, throwing all of the vomit directly back onto you, Eric's.
Told you wouldn't want to do that.
Well, it's not exactly something that would be by choice. Those things kind of just happen, you know?
If you want, you can just give me the cards and I'll go in myself. I mean, I don't know if I don't know if you're up to this.
He's gonna blink a bit and look at the door, basically seeing it for the first time here. Where did this come from?
I made it. The instructions on the card said that I needed to bring it to an indigo room. I didn't know what an indigo room was, so I just drew it into the mansion.
Okay. Well, I guess let's
I'm gonna open the door.
let's get this over with.
All right. As you guys make your way inside, you're greeted with the same room that you left, Cobalt. Eric, this is your first time. Do you remember when I described the room to Cobalt?
Not really.
Basically, a somewhat standard shop interior, aside from a ton of just baubles, decorations, pennants, banners from various kingdoms from... you recognize some of them, but a lot of them you've never seen before. A lot of them are just overwhelmingly blue and indigo and cyan and turquoise, blue-based colors. As you make your way there, you realize there's a very large cage sort of positioned on the counter now with what looks to be a large red parrot of some kind. Sort of gripping onto the cage side with what looks to be like a small turquoise harness on it. As you enter, that same Tabaxi who greeted you the first time is there again. As he sort of waves to you and he says, "Ah, hello! I believe this is our first time actually meeting." As he sort of looks down at the parrot in the cage, who is currently chewing at the bars.
I'm gonna blink, shake my head slowly, and take a large swig from the coffee.
All right.
It's completely silent except for a couple gulps in a row.
And something chewing on some iron bars of a cage.
It's more of clinking, I think.
That's true. So... Okay, fine. I'll start. I apologize for your last interactions in here. I came in here and I found that my assistant, as he kind of gestures to the parrot, seems to have pulled off a rather bad deal with you. As he kind of holds up the jack, the card that you gave him earlier. And well,
is it still glowing? Like
yeah.
Really bright?
Yeah. Well, it seems only fair that I give you another chance. Because, well, I still kind of feel bad about swindling people, and I'll have to talk to my assistant here later.
Eric's will blink again.
I'm gonna stare at the bird.
Introductions for you. You're one of his friends, right?
Yes, this one's Eric's.
Okay.
I will grunt.
Don't believe. Well, you spoke to the parrot earlier. I mean, to avoid any confusion.
And Cobalt will look at the parrot and say, "This one's Eric's."
He stops chewing. He stops chewing and kind of rotates his head to the side, kind of looking at the side with one of its large eyes.
Eric, you're good with animals. Communicate, Druid.
Eric's is just completely It's one of those it's too early for this shit kind of moments.
Oh, I thought you
As-
were thinking
as-
like this has to be a lucid dream.
As the tabaxi sort of picks up on that and says, "Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Anir, and I run this sort of magical trinket emporium. However, I don't take currency, as you might think. No gold, no platinum, no silver. Instead, I deal with these vouchers, you might say. They serve a certain purpose to me, and if you return them to me, I will gladly reimburse you with a few of something from my inventory."
Eric's will turn to Cobalt. So you found us another Jeremy.
This one's better than Jeremy, I think.
He just said he swindled you already.
Well, yeah, but this one apologized. Jeremy didn't do that.
Mostly because Jeremy ran. This one's trapped in our mansion or something.
Well, yeah, but then we found Jeremy again, and he didn't apologize then either. So, also, it wasn't him that swindled us, it was the bird.
You know, I could
what-
go for
I'm gonna
some
ask what the-
chicken.
You hear the parrot sort of squawk and say, "Fair trade."
I'm gonna ask what the bird's name is.
Anir says to you, "Well, when he's in the shop, well, I'm not. He simply goes by Anir, of course. I mean, I have called him Havu once or twice. It seems to be what he was named before. So if you want to call him that, then by all means."
What color's the bird again?
Red.
Does it have black eye patterns?
No, it
Does
actually.
does it have a dark tip beak?
No, it has a almost like a corn yellow beak that simply kind of curves around.
Oh, I see. Lame.
It actually looks a lot like a sort of like a toucan. No, not like a toucan. A macaw.
Okay, cool.
Eric's will grunt again and pull out the other cards he has.
All right.
So I guess we trade these here.
Yes.
All right.
What did we get for the jack again? I mean, what are we like? What was the deal with that again?
You received the breath freshener for it.
Oh, I know, but I mean, like, what did Anir say that he was gonna do because we got ripped off?
As you sort of start to pull out the cards, he lays the jack back on the counter and says, "Let's try this again. How about?"
Okay. And then, yeah, the cards are in front of him.
I'll pull out the 3 other cards that I have.
All right.
Didn't we get? Hold on. I vaguely
We got
remember
a
getting
total of 4.
Yes.
Yeah, I was about to say I vaguely remember getting cards before. I'm also gonna take out the bladed Jack of Hearts that I have.
Oh, that one.
Just I don't know if it has anything to do with anything, but I'm gonna set it up there anyway.
As he sort of looks at the Jack of Hearts that you have, he sort of kind of pokes it with a bit of a claw and says, "Is that sharpened?"
Yes, I haven't practiced throwing it in a while though.
It doesn't look like one of mine, so I won't actually take it in for a trade.
Okay.
You'll notice mine shimmery. You know, most of the time they're shimmery. Sometimes they're not.
Oh, in that case, and I'm gonna
with-
summon a, I'm gonna conjure a duplicate of the bladed Jack of Hearts that glows with magic. Like this?
He sort of looks at you. He says, "No, I saw what you did there. I will deny that is one of my cards because it is not."
Fair enough.
As you're kind of reaching to kind of give it to him, one of the parrot's legs kind of reaches through the side of the cage and starts to kind of grasp at it, tries to pull at it.
I'm gonna give it to him.
As you concede your grip of the card, and the parrot kind of brings it in, sort of brings it up and starts to chew on it a little bit if he can. If it's an illusion, then it basically just.
It's not an illusion. It's just not a like it's a conjured item. It's a physical thing. It just doesn't last forever.
Okay. Then yeah, he's basically tearing it up.
I mean, it's made of metal. Remember,
You
I combined
underestimate him.
Okay, that's fair. I'm more impressed than surprised.
It's more of denting and bending it more than actually like ripping and tearing it up then. But still, it's a pretty dang strong beak it has. As Anir kind of looks over the cards that you have, he says, "Well, I can give you a proper potion. How do you feel about that?"
I mean, Eric's is here now, so I can go over it with him too.
I prefer something a bit more permanent.
I think that's what I said. Basically, what I said to the bird too before.
I have something rather interesting. It's something that I came across in a place that starts with an E. I don't remember where. E-B... Yeah. Never mind. Either way, as he reaches... Actually, it doesn't even reach. There's a small sort of sound as a small tub of what looks to be a small sort of a clay pot, maybe the size of your fist, sort of floats out from the back room, sort of twirling and tumbling through the air. As he grabs it and sort of looks at the label, he says, yes, this here is a restorative cream. You know that the spell you use where you can fix things? It's that, but in a salve form. You can use it on yourself. However, it is temperamental. And I would be careful because it really likes to incorporate whatever's touching it into whatever it's applied to. Really good for like pulling together two very large beams. Not very good for sealing up cuts.
Oh, so it's sovereign glue.
Kind of.
That's pretty neat. That's a neat item. Sure, that sounds great.
Sure.
Wonderful. I'll get an actual item description written up after the session. But go ahead and note down in your inventory the Salve of Mending. It's a small porcelain pot about the size of your fist with a corked-on cover. The cream itself seems to be almost like a glittering silver. And if you look closely at it, you can see that it very slowly sort of moves, almost like a very, very large swarm of some sort of creature.
If it's all the same, Eric's, I might keep this one simply because I can mage hand the salve onto things, and it sounds like if I use my hand, it might end poorly for me.
Okay.
Now, what about the other cards? I forget the other ones we have.
That was for all. That was for 3 of the cards, as he takes the smaller suits away.
Oh, okay.
The 2, the 8, and the 6, I believe.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. As the Jack, he kind of looks at it, and he says, "Well, do you like the potion of the Evergreen Maw? Do you like it?"
It's okay. It's not terribly useful in most situations. Cobalt usually keeps his mouth clean normally anyway.
Very well. Ooh, I have something interesting as well. That's another interesting thing. As he takes the Jack of Clubs and places, almost makes it disappear up his sleeve like a magician.
It's a Jack
As
of
another,
Hearts.
as there's another sort of from somewhere back, sort of behind a curtain, as another small object sort of tumbles through the air into his hand. This looks like almost like a perfume puffer. Now this is quite interesting.
That's called an
I'm-
atomizer.
Yeah. I came across this in a mage's college, specifically known for its art. I forget where, but as you're applying this, you can choose what color the paint inside will come out as. I don't know if it ever runs out, but probably not.
So it's like... That's cool. I think it's like prestidigitation, but permanent, which is good.
Sort of basically a spray can of paint.
Yeah.
So label it down as prismatic paint.
I'll take that and take it to Iastol.
All right.
That's a great idea. I would not have thought of that.
Well, she is the only one that we know of that paints, so you draw, but not necessarily paint.
I just thought we'd use it for like markers and stuff. I don't know. But this is a much better idea.
So, a small side effect. Now that you've actually been here, you should find that these cards will show up much more often. It's a weird thing where you have to see one and then they just seem to show up everywhere. I'm not
Like-
sure what causes it.
It's like searching for shark's teeth.
I suppose
if you
so.
lost them, then wouldn't you just have them show back up for you?
It's different than that. I do
he's-
have a reason for it, I tell you that.
I'm pretty sure he's from another dimension, and when you lose things across dimensions, it's harder to find.
More of... I suppose I'll tell you. They're a way of collecting the various exotic energies that I need for my various works. Of course, simply existing in the multitude of places that they are, they'll absorb whatever magic is in the environment very slowly. And they'll come back to me and, well, it's a secret of how to extract them that I won't tell you.
I put a lot of magic into the Jack.
I appreciate it. After all, you did get 2 magical items for it.
Yes. Was that all the cards we had?
Yep.
Okay, just making sure. Okay. See, Eric, I told you there was a cat in our wall.
It's like that. It's
Yeah.
Always Sunny episode with the cats in the wall.
Oh, I've wanted to make so many references to that. You know, the cat probably just flattened itself down and went through one of the cracks. Cats don't obey the laws of physics. In order to get this cat out of the wall, we have to put more cats in the wall. That cat will entice the other cats to come out. They end with like 8 cats stuck in the wall.
Alright, well, there we go.
As he sort of waves goodbye to you as you leave, the parrot just sort of screeches out something incomprehensible, and Nier kind of grits his teeth and just kind of looks down at him. All right. Eric, as you go back to the art room, you notice that another painting has actually been made. This time, it's of that same sort of segmented figure. But this time, it's an actual profile shot. And I'll post it again in Discord for those of you who haven't seen it, or who have forgotten about it. Also, I need to get a new mouse pad because mine is starting to stick. It freaking absorbs moisture from the air and loses its slickiness. And it is supremely annoying.
Annoying Supreme. Where'd you say you post this picture?
I'm trying to find it right now.
You mean you didn't have this prepared 8 days in advance? Come on, Dova.
I have it, and I posted before. There you go.
Ah, yes, that. It looks pretty cool.
In fact, that's pretty much the painting that's actually there right now.
Alright, well, I will leave the paint thing in there with a little note saying that we got this and explaining what it does, or at least what I know about what it does.
And how to use it. That's pretty important.
And, yes, how to use it.
I'm also gonna write a little note card that is just a picture of 5 stars and then put it next to the picture. 5 stars in a line.
I feel like you're referencing something that I can't pick up on yet.
It's 5 out of 5, Dova. 5 stars. Come on, man. It's not that hard.
Alright, anything special that you guys are doing, Rock and Raku, as well as Infel, of course?
I don't know, because we don't... Eric's and Cobalt just went off by themselves, right? Or this is a new day.
Yeah. You guys are recovering from your hangovers.
Pretty bad.
I ate some bread that absorbed the alcohol and helped process it. I'm doing all right.
That's actually that's a myth, but we'll let that slide.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I'll just say that paladins are immune to poisons and poison effects.
That's true. Unless they want to be.
My bread isn't normal though.
That is also true.
Rock's just watering his plant and talking to Sora.
Alright. Go ahead and take 2 points of necrotic damage.
That's fine.
This might be a good time for Infel to visit Rock's room.
Why not?
Not a lot else going on. Oh my.
As you're
goodness.
kind of walking around, you decide to check up on your good friend Rock. Would you knock on the door?
I'd knock on the door.
You'd hear a knock on the door, Rock, as you're watering the plant.
It's unlocked. Just a thing.
I mean, would you respond to it?
I just make like a grunting noise. Like I acknowledged it.
All right.
Well, I assume that means something, and he opens the door.
So, describe yourself watering the plant.
He is near the plant, and he's got a really big knife. He's just near the plant.
You're what?
He's damn this damn mic. He's near the plant with a really big knife, watering the plant and just talking to it.
This is impressive how bad your mic is getting.
Are you just saying that he's like talking to the mic?
I don't hear it from your side because I can hear you guys fine.
It's okay, Rock. It happens to everyone.
That's funny. That's funny that you're saying that.
You merely adopted the darkness. I was born in it, molded by it.
Rock.
Can Rock Spain? He waves and fell in with his tail.
He'll stand in the doorway and take scope of this room and all its adornments. This is a bedroom, right?
You could say that. It's not paladin friendly, you could say. You know, bones, carcasses, random things in jars, watering his plant.
What is that plant? And where did you get that?
Found
Does
it.
Still have the intestines on it?
Yes, it does.
Whose are those?
I shrug.
Did
Pretty
the
sure
cat
they've
get
been
those?
decaying.
He puts new intestines on it when he can.
I was about to say, does the fern just, like, when you water it, does it keep the intestines fresh?
Feed me, Seymour!
He takes very good of his plant.
You'll come.
He takes very good of his plant. Got it.
Yep.
You'll come closer and then say, "What does it do?"
It grows. Come on, man. It's a plant.
He's actually, if you notice, between Rock's saying stuff, he's actually saying like a nursery rhyme to this plant.
In Draconic.
Yep,
So you like this plant, do you?
it's a good plant.
It proves that Rock is able to take care of something and keep things alive, as opposed to just being able to do the opposite.
I mean, he is like feeding it its own blood, so taking care of it is like a gray sense to it.
Infel ponders something briefly, but then dismisses the thought instantly.
You're still keeping a living thing alive. That's something.
Rock has grown as a person.
He will just shake his head and say, "No, this plant is fine this size. Okay,
It could be bigger.
it could be 100 feet bigger."
What color is this plant again?
Well, it was a brief plan to use plant growth.
I feel like that'd be a bad idea.
Yes, he dismissed it very quickly.
Just saying.
There's no bad idea in Rock's room. Just options.
Bad options.
Your options.
Okay, so I have a lot of catching up to do. Did you do all this yourself?
Most of it. I had help from Burnt Corn.
Burnt corn.
And I point to a pile of clothes and stuff in the corner.
Did you two get naked in here?
Rock shrugs.
That's not a no. Well. Okay.
For a moment, I forgot Infel and Sully were run by the same person. I feel dumb.
It's like you should know this.
I was about to. I mean, I was like, never mind. Just keep going.
Were you close?
Rock smiles and nods.
Good.
He was a good Burnt Corn. He is good Burnt Corn.
He'll narrow his eyes and just try to imagine that as a compliment. Right. Good burnt corn.
Rock speaks better, but he's still bad with names.
You spent a lot of time together then?
Yes. We sparred. I hate fire. Fire sucks.
I can help with that.
What about you, handbag? You know Burnt Corn for long?
We're talking about Sully, right? Yeah, we have to be. Yes, I knew him from very, very long ago when he was very small. He brought me fish very often and sort of followed me where I went. And we talked, and I liked him. Oh, sort of. He was interesting, with little bright green eyes.
He is very interesting.
He was charming in his own way. I wish I could have met him again.
He's a strong fighter.
Really? Him, a fighter?
There's a Rick and Morty quote that I would like to quote right now, but I don't feel like it's very appropriate.
What was the quote?
Wait, I forget. Hey, Eric, how family friendly is the stream supposed to be?
Preferably entirely.
Okay, well, I
Some
won't say
references are okay, but nothing outright explicit.
Maybe later. Let's just continue.
He's gonna Rockrock's gonna look up to Infel and say, I will find him someday.
Well, good. I'm going to be here when you do that. Probably helping you. He'll then lean in forward a little more interested and say, so you are looking for him then?
Always.
I have a hint from Saloon where he might be.
He immediately perks up.
Saloon told me he was on Chult, and he seemed to be trying to do something very important.
Rock is gonna bolt straight up and walk right out the door.
Okay. Goodbye.
And he is heading towards Eric's.
All right.
Eric's would have gone off to find Raku.
Riku, how do you recover from a hangover?
Bit of hair of the dog and just hanging out. Probably in my workshop tinkering.
Right. As you find basically a very sort of translucent piece of fabric tied around your head so that very little light gets in, and basically just start to work on very quiet projects inside the workshop.
There's no windows in my workshop.
That's true. You would just not have any light in there at all.
Yeah, just candles.
All right.
You don't even need that. You have dark vision.
It's
I know, but
ambient.
there's no color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about the mood.
Additionally, with light sensitivity, any amount of light would probably hurt your head.
The mood.
No, it's sunlight.
Yeah, candlelight would be fine.
Sunlight is very different from a lot of different types of light.
Them UV rays.
Eric's, you'd eventually find Riku inside of the workshop.
I'll knock on the door. Raku!
Yeah.
Are you decent?
Yeah.
He'll come in. We need to talk about a particular person on board this ship.
Alright, good, because I've been thinking about that. You know, Rock's really going off the deep end.
No, Rock's is, I mean, he's
I'm
okay
joking.
as he is.
Continue.
This is, of course, Infel.
I mean, he made us dinner. He's reading. I just don't like the ways that what he's become. All right, yeah, Infel. Yes, Infel.
I'm not sure I trust him on this crew.
That has seemed pretty obvious, and I am kind of there. He hasn't done. I mean, he's just kind of shown up and tried to just shove his way into our party, and unfortunately, hasn't. Well, I mean, we haven't been too friendly, but I've had some assholes on some jobs that I'm not too particular in just letting random people close to me.
Honestly, yeah, he hasn't done anything particularly bad until the fight with the Kraken. You may have been below decks, but he provoked Umberly. Which
I'm not as
directly put
attuned.
the...
Yeah.
She's the...
No, yeah, I know who she is, but yeah, continue. It's probably not too good to taunt any gods.
Let alone a, not so nice one?
Yeah.
Well, if they're not so nice, then why would taunting change anything? Wouldn't they just still be not nice?
It's
You're
a
putting them on
matter
their-
of
on
if you're
their radar.
taunting... If you taunt them, they may just ignore your presence, but if you outright taunt them or try and anger them, well, they might very well get angry.
How about where are you?
I was just talking out of character at that point.
Yeah, I'm responding out of character.
Yeah.
I do want to point out that we did stop the Earth Mother's attempt at resetting the entire planet, so let's just keep that one in mind too. I feel like if there are any gods that are mad at us, it might be that one.
We killed it.
Yeah, we killed Yggdrasil. And Yggdrasil isn't really a god. Exactly.
Probably more of a Titan.
I thought it was something that, like, a god sent to do the... I don't know.
No, Dova originally said that the Yggdrasil was specifically not associated with the gods. In fact, I believe, didn't you say that they had no idea?
Oh yeah, he said the gods feared it and they couldn't do anything about it.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't think the gods are going to be unhappy with us about killing Yggdrasil.
Yeah, if you want to associate to anything, it would probably be more like a Titan.
But the thing about Umberly is she is a chaotic evil goddess, which we're currently sailing in the middle of her domain. Anyways, back to in character. I believe we need to have a meeting.
Alright, I'm down. Just, you seem to know what you want to do, so what do you have in mind? I'll go with it.
Well, we will give him a chance to defend himself and see where things go from there.
Okay.
Meet me in the Grand Hall in a few minutes.
Alright.
Eric's will then leave and prepare. I messaged you what he's doing, Dova.
Yep. And I did get that.
And I think Rock would probably find Eric's in the Grand Hall at that time. Once everything's ready. Rock.
Yeah, if I'm gonna run into you, I'm gonna grab you and look you dead in the eyes and go, where the
Your
hell
mic
is...
fell.
Son of a bitch!
Do you not, like, have any tape? You can just tape it in place?
Your mic also cut out in the middle of that sentence. It's like the universe censored you.
Actually, I feel frustrated on your behalf.
I'm literally holding a thing of paracord. So I'm sure I can fix it with that.
I want to take this headphone and drag it down a dark alley and just...
Oh, you're dragging it down the alley now.
Yeah, you're all...
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
For the moment.
Alright.
Very intensely.
He's gonna grab the Birdman and look him at it dead in the eyes and go,
oh my god.
I was
Hey, I have no idea.
Just type it to me and I'll say it.
You're
type it in chat.
Damn it!
It's
You're
so
like
bad.
mumbling now.
Do you not at least have like earbuds with a mic on them? Somewhere?
Not good ones.
I mean, they don't have to be good.
This one isn't a good one.
They just have to work.
Let me try my iPhone headphones.
Alright. He's going to grab you, Eric's, almost like shaking you a little bit as he looks you dead in the eyes and says very sternly, Where the hell is Chult?
That's where we're going.
Was that you, Rock?
Don't teach my hamster to suck eggs.
Because we are hearing a little bit of stuff from you. Oh.
Well, Rock would already be there and near. But I'll send this in PM to Dova so he can ethereal influence from Anir.
No, it wasn't working.
That's a shame. So, Cobalt, Rock, you're already there, but yeah, Cobalt. What are you doing?
I don't know. Where was I? I finished up with the Nier, and then and then we split up, right?
And everyone kind of went off and did their own thing for a little while. Maybe you were inside your workshop working a little bit on something.
Sure.
All right. You hear a small sort of scratching noise behind you. As you look behind, you see that blue cat that you've seen before. Almost glowing and transparent, sort of scratch at the door, scratch at the floor just in front of the door. The back half of its body seemingly face through the door into the hallway. As it sort of scratches at the door, continuously pulling back and back until it eventually phases back through and disappears.
It doesn't
from your
just
view into the hallway.
Completely flatten itself and go under the crack in the door.
The cats don't follow the laws of physics. He goes right through the door.
I posted that.
I guess I'll follow him.
All right. As you head out, you see the kind of the flick of a tail behind the corner. As you continue to follow it, you see and all of you guys would see this, but the grand hall has been rearranged slightly so that the all of the chairs are seemingly chairs and tables are seemingly faced around one in the center, sort of in a semicircle, with the chair facing with a chair kind of right next to the stage. The tables are sort of set up like just in front of the chairs in the front row.
Okay. I'm gonna sit in one of the chairs.
All right.
I guess I'll wait because it seems something was set up here.
All right. I believe we're waiting for Eric's on this then.
Sorry about that. Okay. So, Eric's... You guys can hear me, right?
Yes.
Oh.
And I've just sort of described the appearance of the Grand Hall for you all.
Oh, I could hear. I just couldn't respond. Eric's is sitting in the center of the circle, or semicircle, dressed in his full captain's uniform, complete with his best hat with the biggest feather. He is currently talking with Rock. Raku might be coming down shortly.
I should be there now. I probably would have just followed you.
Well, he had to go get changed first, but that works.
Oh, Raku absolutely did not get changed.
He has to he has to keep up appearances and such.
To the party?
You gotta look like a proper captain when you're the captain, let's be honest here.
Exactly.
What's the point of being the captain if you don't look like it?
He almost always has the hat on, but, you know, it's... You gotta look the part, especially for a situation like this.
Well, if you always have the hat on, then it's not special. You should at least wear a
this
less
is
extravagant hat.
Yeah, this is his best hat. He has a different one he wears all the time.
Okay, that's important.
Yeah, sorry. I did specify his best hat. Not the one he wore during the storm.
If he still has it.
Yeah, if he still has that one. He will... So, back to Rock. We are going to Cholt. Ultimately, that's our goal. Oh wait, he can't talk, so I guess he's typing.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm seeing if there's like a driver or something I gotta upgrade. He's gonna look at it and go,
Bye.
Alva, I'm messaging you.
Okay.
Zim, Eric's bye echoed pretty much for a lot too. I don't know if you all heard that too.
I'm gonna say it's a microphone issue, probably.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Whenever the mic gets bad for Rock, it starts to echo whatever we say to him.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm guessing it's a RAID connection somewhere.
Probably.
As Sonoga kind of shakes you again and says, or sorry, Rock says, "Burnt corn is on Cholt. We must go now."
Huh? Bath.
Eric's? Everybody still there?
Yeah.
I'm still here. So,
Yeah,
Kinda.
sorry.
so while I'm sitting, I'm gonna have my my cartographer map open. And I don't know if you all remember, but it still has that burnt scorch mark where Chalt is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, responding to Rock, we are on our way. The ship is sailing in that direction now. We will get there as soon as possible. We'll be stopping to get the airship portion fixed, but after we do, I'm pretty sure it will help us with reaching Cholt faster. And if Sully is indeed there, then we will make all haste. Oh yeah, he's probably typing. In the meantime, Eric's will have turned to Cobalt and Raku. Cobalt, I was going to have somebody fetch you, but okay, good to see you. Glad you came already.
Yeah, I followed an ear here.
Anir left the room?
I guess so.
Okay. Well, please, yeah, do take a seat. We need to discuss Infel. I would prefer to wait until he is here, so we're not directly talking about him without his knowledge. But he's gonna look around and see if I can't think of his name right now. The automaton. Gestalt. And send Gestalt to get Infel.
Alright.
And there will be
Infel, you would have gone back to your temple, perhaps? Or are you relaxing somewhere else? If you are trying to say something, you are muted.
I would have also asked Gestalt to see if he can find Iastal.
Alright. As Rock sort of removes his hands from you, he kind of says to himself, "Good. Must not be delayed in getting burnt corn." As he sort of slinks off, eventually settling in one of the chairs and talking quietly to himself. Digi, there?
In his jacket.
Yep.
All right. Gestalt eventually finds you and sort of says, hands crossed behind his back. He says, "Your presence is requested inside the Grand Hall. And from the tone in the room, it appears that it may be somewhat of a tense meeting." Although with your state of mind, I believe you'd be able to make it through just fine. Of course, as he begins to walk out, that's not to say that you're in any danger.
You can't say that for certain. He says that he follows him.
I believe I know them well. They puff out their chests and act like they're outraged, and perhaps they are, but they do recognize you as a member of this group, perhaps not their family just yet.
I think only half feel that way.
And I perhaps we'll find out.
So we shall.
Alright. As Infel, you do arrive, Gestalt leaves to go find Iastal. And Infel, you are greeted by the arrangement of chairs in which there's one empty chair in the middle and the rest of the chairs basically turned, angling face towards this one chair.
I'll stand, thank you.
As you wish. I would like to get Iastal here before we begin.
Alright. The Iastal eventually does return with Gestalt, and the two sit next to each other in one of the chairs. Could everyone give me an insight check?
Everyone? Alright.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Insight?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, I got a high number for once with wisdom check.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, literally everyone notices that Gestalt seems to be fairly nervous right next to her.
Wait, is this a fearful nervous or more of a some other kind of nervous?
You're unable to tell. But you do catch that sort of nervousness coming off of his very, very otherwise stoic exterior. All right, continue on.
Now that everyone is assembled, Infel, you have been on this ship for a while. I've not been certain about your loyalties, and I wish to clear that up. Up until
And
the
you're
fight,
doing that with this.
I felt it was proper. Up until the fight with the Kraken, you have done nothing that outright put the ship in danger. However, you did put the ship into serious danger when you provoked the goddess of the sea. And we need to address that. Regardless of what the sailor believes is true and proper for themselves, every sailor knows they must give proper respect to Umberlee. As I said, she is the goddess of the sea. Directly provoking her while we are in the middle of her domain? Well, we're lucky that she didn't just destroy the ship right then and there. What have you to say?
Umberlee was the one who sent the Kraken initially. Saloon has alluded to as much. As before the storm, she told me that her enemy was sending someone to tend to us and asked me to endure the attack. This is the sea, Umberlee's domain. I can think of little else. I can think of no one else who would send a Kraken directly after one of Saloon's paladins.
And so you choose to directly provoke her?
I felt confident in our success, and boasting is nice now and then, in the glory of my patron.
The glory of your patron put the lives of everyone on this ship in danger.
You thought we'd lose?
I did not think we'd lose against the Kraken. I do think we will lose if Umberlee gets angry at us and decides to directly move against us.
You believe Umberlee would approach herself?
She has many ways to do things. I don't know the ways of the gods, but there is enough to go off of throughout history that you do not provoke them. Least of all those that are evil. He'll turn to everyone else in the room. Do the rest of you have something to say, have thoughts on this subject?
I think this whole conversation is stupid.
And why is that?
Cobalt, but this is for the concern of the adults.
Cobalt has every right to speak here.
All right. You reach adulthood alarmingly quickly.
Infel fought alongside us, and he's been good. And he's been good to everyone here. So I don't feel that there's any reason to not trust him.
He has not.
And frankly, it feels like your continued distrust of him is due to paranoia more than anything else.
Perhaps.
So
But he has
that's why I
also
think this whole
not.
conversation is stupid.
He has also not done anything to garner friendship
Yes, he has.
with
He's a
Raku
comrade.
and
He's fought
I.
alongside us this whole time.
If I may speak, I prefer the company of others. I don't have to be friends with every single person on this ship, just the ones who are cordial to me initially, and I'll reciprocate. That's how this works.
The way it works when you come aboard a ship or come across an army is that you come to the one in charge. You do not wait for them to come to you. I am the captain of this ship.
Yes, and as such, I'll do as you say, and that's about all. Friendship
Rock
is
is
not
going.
mandatory.
Rock.
It's not something you can order.
Dova, go ahead.
Drop my cards again. So
You should stop
Rock
playing with
is
your
going
cards.
to pipe up, saying, Infel has proven himself more than once. His family and I trust him as I do everyone here. As he kind of drifts back away and starts to talk quietly to himself once again.
You came aboard this ship under questionable circumstances. We do not know what happened after the rest of us left the thing which name I cannot remember.
The heart of the world, correct?
The robot.
The Heart of Darkness.
The usurper.
Usurper, yes. After we left the usurper, we do not know what happened. The only thing that I know is that you got out, and our friend did not. He'll turn to Iastal. Do you have any insight as to what happened, Iastal?
Not much. I remember being in the cockpit. I remember a lot of searing pain, a lot of heat. And I remember waking up here. There's not much I can really help with that.
That is unfortunate.
As for treasonous acts, anything where I might throw him off the ship, I don't have any. Of course, that's not really my say anymore. In my opinion, I believe that the good he's done can outweigh the bad. Who keeps joining and leaving?
That was me. There was an update to Discord.
Ah.
So I don't know if that's gonna fix it or not, but I doubt it.
What's up, Rock?
What's up?
I mean, so far you're sounding fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so I don't have wood, so I'm not gonna knock on it next to me. Oh wait. I have...
Oh, it started to.
Oh, son of a bitch!
No, I don't think it started.
There was a brief moment where I thought it was, but I think it's good. Just speak very calmly and quietly. Don't scare it.
I can't do that. I am Rock. I cause fear everywhere I go.
Okay, he started fading a little bit.
Yep, that's
Not as fast as before.
rolled my intimidation on this fucking mic.
But yes, let us continue.
You have done good for the crew since those earlier circumstances. But now your motivations behind your actions is thrown into question when you put the ship into danger.
Yes.
It is my job to watch out and ensure the safety of those aboard the ship. Well, would you disagree, Iastal?
She kind of thinks for a moment and says, "No, I would not disagree."
And so when someone aboard the ship puts everyone in danger, it must be addressed.
Alright then, in the future, would you like the 4 warnings that my goddess gives me? Despite not being able to avoid said danger?
There's a difference between the Kraken attacking and you outright provoking a goddess. The only thing we have to go off of that the Kraken attacked on the command of Umberlee is your word. And you yourself have said that you assumed that was the case.
This is Umberlee's domain. My lady told me one of her enemies had sent one of her minions after us. I think it's a pretty safe assumption.
It is. I will grant you that. But it's not enough of a fact to be provoking her. While I am certain that you may be protected, that does not apply to the rest of us necessarily.
I'm not as protected as you might think. I took to battle and behaved a little inelegantly after your teammate was consumed rapidly and attacked even though I didn't have my divine weapon. And emerged soaked in the blood of a kraken.
I appreciate your assistance in helping Cobalt. He is a part of this crew. He is a part of this family.
But that gratitude will only extend so far until you can properly condemn me for thoughtless boasting.
I'm not here to condemn. I'm here to ensure that you understand where we are and to ensure it does not happen again.
Is that all?
For you to remain on this ship a free man, yes. That is all that I would require.
Seems a bit much for just asking a condition of me, but very well.
You are not to put the lives of the crew in danger. For any reason.
Are we done yet? You've said that like 5 times already.
That was in character, correct?
Yes.
I wish to know that he understands this.
Pretty
I
sure I
can't
understood it
understand.
after at least the second time you said it.
Could you repeat what you said?
Yes, I can understand you perfectly fine.
Anybody else here have anything to bring up?
I just have a small bit. It won't take long. I am not exactly attuned to the divine activities between yourselves. So my only quarrel comes with they all speak as fighting with one another, but unfortunately, where I've come from, there are a number of contract partners that you will definitely fight with, but you would less want to give them your name rather than any other information. So I'm happy to fight with you, but you haven't come up to me and tried to actually know me or find some way to have my trust, and that's really all. I'm happy to get to know you, but you haven't really put yourself in front of me. You seem to
Well,
actually avoid me.
I've seen
Well,
that as well.
you and your captain have been the least cordial people on this boat, and so, in that aspect, I have just been hanging out with people more cordial and eager to see me. But
That's true. I
if
won't.
you're asking, then okay. Thank you
Yeah.
for putting yourself
I'll-
on even ground as me and asking me as a person and not a figure of authority. I will gladly spend time with you.
Yes, thank you. And I apologize. Well, I don't, but I ask for your understanding on Eric's feelings towards this situation. We have had a very rough. Our life has been dictated by several factors, and trust was a very important thing to us. And while he went to the Druid arts, I went through my own routes, and I have my own my own viewings on how trust is to be given and earned and viewed. And so, like I said, I'm happy to fight beside you without any quarrels, but it's a bit different between me. But yes, just more interaction with you. If I actually knew you, then that would go a long ways in order to have a relationship between us.
I have no issues with this. If there's no one else, then I have something to say as well.
Go ahead.
Eric's, this is for you. I've been observing you lately, and I have something you should probably listen. You are taking on too much. You are captain, but don't forget your roots. When we get to the city, do what you must and take a long break. Just do something not ship related to enjoy yourself.
I'll agree with that.
You hear a voice pipe up behind you all. It says, we agree. Sorry, as you kind of look behind you, you see kind of clambering up from under some of the chairs are a handful of the kobolds from around the ship, as well as Zell. Says, I'm sorry, we were listening in with, we kind of heard that this was happening, and then we kind of got scared that there was something bad, but we respect you, and we like your guidance, Eric's, but I think we kind of agree. You need maybe to take a little break, or at least, well, not like give up captainship, of course, but like kind of like what he said.
I will
And
be...
also, we kind of wanted to say that we really appreciate what you're doing here, Infel. We really, we really like you. We like you staying around here, if that means anything coming from us.
Of course it does. I enjoy your company as well, all of you.
They kind of give a slight smile and a nod, and kind of slink down low in the chairs as they get the feeling that they might not be entirely welcome as they weren't invited.
You are all welcome. I just put this together rather rapidly and did not really have time to announce it more formally.
They seem to nod and start to actually sit in the chairs.
I do not want to dislike you, Infel. I simply must keep a dose of suspicion on newcomers when I do not know their motivations for being here.
Oh well, that one's easy. Sully liked this guy a lot, so he traded his life for his. Right before the machine exploded, he threw Infel into the safety tube and then shot him out.
Info will look at Cobalt. You know this?
Yeah, I watched it happen. Right before I grabbed Iastal's soul from her body so I could put her into the robot.
Oh.
On that note...
And Infel, remember, it was me and Sully that jumped out of the usurper to get you out of the wall. I don't know if you were actually conscious for that. And like I said, I hope I explained myself clearly on where my feelings are towards this situation.
Of course. No, I wasn't conscious, but thank you for retrieving me.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Cobalt, I forgot that my voice activation wasn't on, but when you said you recounted taking Iastal's soul, Iastal actually kind of looks over at you, eyes squinting for a moment, just kind of nodding and listening along before kind of leaning back and crossing her arms over her chest.
Gonna be honest though, I tried to grab Sully, but I missed. I'm sorry. But I'm glad I got you too.
It's not personal.
I believe at the next port, Raku, Infel, myself, and one of the others here should go out of the city and get to know each other a bit more. It is optional. I'm not forcing you. It is just a suggestion.
I'm perfectly cordial to this idea.
Sure, it'd be nice to get off this boat and into some land.
Well, we've stopped at land quite a few times, Raku, but you're never here.
He mostly meant that as in going out and, like, being in the land, not just dicking around a city.
Yeah. Well, with that, I believe we are ready. I believe that is all that we have to discuss in regards to this.
No reaction to what Cobalt said?
I am considering that. I trust Cobalt, and it does remove one concern from me. There are more than just the one. Specifically that of the, again, I don't want to beat the dead horse here, but Umberly.
Number 6.
I can't force you into this, but I believe for the safety of the ship, it would be good if you attempted to make amends at the next port. They usually have a temple to Umberley. That is up to you. It would go a long way and ensure that we hopefully do not get targeted again. But for now, let's go ahead and get back to sailing, get to the next port, and just have a better time. He will turn to Iastal next. Iastal, you've been on this ship for a bit. I understand that you do not wish to take up a mantle that is under someone else after you were the captain. However, even you being on this ship does put you under my authority. I
perfectly accept that.
I would still prefer you to have a purpose here as my first mate.
I suppose I'd be alright with that.
Thank you. And he'll
Kind of nods again.
He'll stand up and nod to everybody. I think that is it for this. I'm glad that things are getting closer to being resolved. In the meantime, I did ask the servants in the mansion here to prepare a special little something. He'll wave off to one of the servants near the kitchens, and they'll bring out, they'll carry out a small table that's low to the floor. Rock, you have your traditions. I have mine. And I would like to perform a tea ceremony.
If I may ask just one question.
Yes.
Why is every servant a lizard folk?
That was Cobalt says, that was my idea.
Pulls on collar.
Yes, I've been meaning to ask for a while. But now that you're, well, all gathered here in such a grand fashion, I believe it'd be perfectly acceptable for me to state one of my grievances.
You can hate us or like us or whatever for this, but basically, we stopped at a city of your species, your people, and they immediately imprisoned us.
Boy, this sounds familiar.
Ooh.
So we kind of honestly made the servants lizard folk as a kind of get back at them, even though we're not really doing so. If you have suggestions for different, we can definitely change them, though.
Was that what it was?
That's what I remember us doing it for.
I just like the way lizard folk look. They're like kobolds but bigger.
It's okay, it's just I was so confused initially because they're so very real but dead. I couldn't interact with a single one.
They're not...
As Rock kind of chimes in. They were dicks. Not a fan. Queen could not be trusted.
Yeah.
Are you sure you're not channeling? Never mind.
Eric's will, as the low table is brought out, cushions would be set around it. One for the main group, as well as Istall and Gestalt, even though they can't really drink tea necessarily, but, you know. Eric's will go take a seat on one of the cushions on the floor.
I mean, I still can still eat and drink. It just doesn't do anything.
Fair enough. If you all would join me.
I'll join.
Of course.
Yeah, Raku does.
This is a ceremony meant to honor friendship. And while we may not be friends yet, Infel, it is perhaps a sign for the future.
A work in progress.
Yes. Eric's will prepare the tea himself, the supplies there, and proceed, first filling a cup for Infel, then moving around the table for each person, and then encouraging them to drink. It's a slightly dumbed down version of a Japanese tea ceremony, but you know.
Istall is going to take a small sip. Did you design any sort of digestive system in there, Cobalt?
I mean, making Golem itself is hard enough. There's a cavity inside, so she'll still feel full, but it just kind of, how do I just put it? It evaporates or dissolves into her body. Like, it doesn't really digest, but it doesn't just sit there either. It just kind of gets absorbed.
All right. So the liquid does not just dribble out.
Yeah, she's like a solid construct. Not like a skeleton type thing, where it would just fall through the inner everything.
Does everybody drink?
Yes.
Of course.
Okay.
Yes.
Infel?
Hello?
Digi, you there?
I am present. Sorry, there's like 3 cats around me, and they're falling from my lap. What's happened?
I asked
Put
if
him in
you
the wall.
drank.
Yes, I drink.
Okay. After everybody has taken at least a sip, Eric's will pour some for himself and drink as well. To friendship and to new beginnings.
And now everybody roll a con save.
No, it is. It's.
Boy, that tea was laced with some interesting stuff.
No, I think Eric's just was really bad at making tea.
No,
I'm
I
going
will
to
never accept that.
I'm gonna wave to one of the servants and have them bring me some whiskey.
After a little while, they do return with a small, sort of a flask.
Oh, they
Eric's
bring me
will
a flask?
Well, a glass. It's
Ah,
in the shape
damn.
of a flask.
I mean,
That's-
cool.
Really odd.
Eric's will
Cobalt doesn't
shoot
really
a
drink
glare
tea
at.
either, but he's also he is gonna drink this, and then if he's still thirsty afterward, get some hot chocolate. But after he finishes his tea.
Rock eyes the flask at Raku.
Raku's gonna take a sip of the tea, make a face, and then drink the whiskey and chase it with the tea.
I mean, he's still drinking the tea.
Yeah.
The way this
Well,
is supposed to go.
Well,
I have to finish the tea in order for the ceremony to be completed.
Yes.
Infel will look confused and say, "You're brothers, right?"
Yeah.
Doesn't mean we have the same tastes.
Oh.
I
Oh,
quite
okay.
enjoy this tea.
Yeah.
It is a matcha tea. It is just matcha tea. Matcha green tea.
You said the word.
It's a-
You said the word tea, so that means I need something else to drink.
Yeah, crumpets.
You don't drink crumpets.
Yeah, like, right?
Crumpets are a biscuit. Or like an English biscuit, meaning a cracker.
What you have with tea?
So?
Not part of the tea ceremony. Anyways. After all that's said and done and everybody finishes, I guess we go back to business. As usual.
Alright.
I mean,
As you
unless,
guys-
of course, anybody wants to do anything in particular.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
As you guys finish up your ceremony and kind of settle back in, things start to go back to normal. Except there's something on the wind. It's almost as if there was this ever-present blanket sort of smothering the ship. But now that you had that meeting, now that all those concerns were sort of raised to light, everyone feels lighter. Everyone feels a little bit more free. And as the wind starts to pick up again, the ship starts to move at a proper pace now, and you feel certain that the ship is heading in a way that you're content with. And that is going to be it for this session.
But that was short.
It's already 10 o'clock here.
It's almost 11.
So?
Yeah, that took a lot of time.
It's only 3 hours.
It's...
Well, we started late also.
Yeah. That kind of contributed to it.
Alright. Alright.
Besides, I think this was a good problem-solving session for you guys.
Alright, everybody. Thank you all so much for joining us this evening. I know it wasn't quite as thrilling as most of them are, but it was necessary for the story, you know. Thank you, Cobalt, for helping me reach the Shipboard Morality Minstrels donation goal this evening. I kind of forgot to bring those up. Maybe they can show up next week. Anyways, thank you all so much for joining. Please do remember to hit that follow button and subscribe if you can. It's really appreciated. If you're watching this on YouTube, by the time you're done watching this, we will probably be about ready to go live. So do come check back and come watch us next week. Rooms and Reptiles will be back on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Mountain Time. That is 7 p.m. Eastern next week. And I will be back with Life is Strange tomorrow. I will be playing... well, Life is Strange. I believe it is the final chapter. Episode 5 or Chapter 5, however they call those things. So I hope to see you all there for that. In the meantime, thank you so much for joining, and I bid you all adieu.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.
That was weak. Try again, Raku.
What?
Try again. That was weak.
Oh.